Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Dropwatch 360. People, before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell. Stay locked in with Dropwatch for every sneaker story and drop. Now, let's go. 2003 wasn't just another year in sports. It was a year that redefined greatness, saw the passing of torches, and create stories we still talk about today. Let's rewind the clock and relive those moments that made 2003 unforgettable. First up, the legend himself, Michael Jordan. April 16th, 2003 marked the end of an era. Jordan playing his final NBA game with the Washington Wizards, bowing out with a standing ovation. The crowd knew they were witnessing history as the man who defined basketball for generations said goodbye for the last time. Then came Serena Williams, rewriting tennis history. By January 2003, she had done what only a handful of players ever have, holding all 4 Grand Slam titles at once. They called it the Serena Slam. Her victories at the French Open, Wimbledon, US Open, and Australian Open proved her dominance across every surface. Serena wasn't just playing tennis, she was creating a legacy. And on the grass courts of Wimbledon, a young Swiss player named Roger Federer was just getting started. In 2003, Federer claimed his first Grand Slam title, defeating Mark Philippoussis in the final. Little did we know, this was just the beginning of one of the greatest careers in tennis history. Meanwhile, over in baseball, the Florida Marlins were living the ultimate underdog dream. No one expected them to beat the Yankees in the World Series, but they did. It wasn't just a win, it was a Cinderella story. The Marlins, led by a young Josh Beckett, proved that sometimes being underestimated is your greatest weapon. In football, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers made history too. Led by head coach John Gruden, they steamrolled the Oakland Raiders in Super Bowl 38, earning the franchise's first ever Lombardi trophy. With a defense so dominant, it felt like they were playing chess while everyone else was playing checkers. All eyes turned to Akron, Ohio. 2003 wasn't just another year in sports. It was a time when legends stepped down and new stars emerged. Ready to take the stage, in the heart of it all, a young phenom from Akron, Ohio, was already turning heads and redefining the game, all before he stepped onto an NBA court. His name? LeBron James. Sonny Vaccaro was a trailblazing sports executive who revolutionized the basketball sneaker industry by discovering and signing generational talent. Let's put it in context. He signed Michael Jordan to Nike, a deal that would redefine the game forever. Then he bought Kobe Bryant to Adidas, or Adidas, depending on where you live, which was huge. Man, I remember rocking those Kobe kicks like the Crazy 8s and Equipment KB 82s. Amazing kicks. I know there's a lot more I've probably missed out, so drop a comment and maybe I can look into that. And who can forget Tracy McGrady, aka T-Mac? That was another household name that Sonny got over to Adidas. I know we all remember some of T-Mac's iconic designs and silhouettes. Woo! Sonny had a knack for connecting the dots faster than anyone else, solidifying his reputation for spotting greatness long before the world caught on. He saw what others overlooked. LeBron James attended Sonny Vaccaro's Adidas, depending on where you live again, ABCD camp in 2000 as a relatively unknown sophomore. But it didn't take long for everyone to take notice. And by 2001, he was the clear standout. And suddenly scouts, sneaker companies, and brands alike were all laser focused on him. LeBron just wasn't another prospect. He was a generational talent. And Sonny Vaccaro saw it before anyone else.
15, 16-year-old kid I've ever seen in my life. At this point in his life, he is the most mature on the court and the most gifted on the court. He has a chance, when it's all over, to be one of the greatest players ever to play the game.
LeBron was different and unique. He simply was the chosen one. And from that point, the race was on. 3 brands pulled up. Adidas came with the OG respect. Reebok talked big money, but Nike had the streets talking. Before hearing the final 3 pitches, LeBron James had to make one thing clear. Not every brand will get a seat at the table. He had to make a decision. He had to block out the rest. You know, like that show Pop the Balloon. After narrowing it down, 3 brands remained: Adidas, Reebok, and Nike. These were the giants ready to make their case to LeBron James, each offering not just money, but what their vision of what his future could look like.
And my senior year, the process began. The recruitments, the Nikes came in, the Adidas was still there, Reebok came in, and won. All these companies came in. I took on 3 pitches. I did an Adidas pitch, I did a Reebok pitch, I did a Nike pitch.
Now let's review some of these pitches. Adidas. In 2003, Adidas wasn't just selling sneakers. They were selling a movement, a culture, a brotherhood. Basketball just wasn't a game. It was a lifestyle, a statement, a way of life. Adidas understood that better than most, capturing the essence of the game through moments, through players, through legacy. The generational talents. At the center of this culture stood 2 of the most electrifying players of their time, Tracy McGrady and Kobe Bryant. These 2 icons, both referred earlier, were more than just athletes. They were the faces of the brand. They were the faces of Adidas basketball. They carried the brand's DNA, shaping the game with their own unique style. This was the blueprint. Adidas had built a foundation with 2 generational superstars, McGrady's finesse, Kobe's fire. And now, they saw LeBron as the next piece of the puzzle. LeBron wasn't just familiar with Adidas. He was wearing it. The 3 straps were, in a way, already part of his DNA. From T-Max to Pro models, he laced up in their sneakers before he ever had a contract.
Once I got into the AAU program, started playing basketball, Adidas took us over. And it became Adidas. It was Adidas like from 7th, 8th grade to pretty much my junior, senior year. They sponsored us every year. We played in all the Adidas tournaments, big time tournament in Vegas and all over the United States of America. So
LeBron wasn't exaggerating. Adidas shaped his future. I'd mentioned the Adidas ABCD camp earlier, but behind the scenes, running under the Adidas umbrella, Sonny Vaccaro. To add another Adidas layer, one year the camp had Kobe passing his wisdom to the next generation. In that room, a young LeBron, locked in, soaking up every word about work ethic and leaving it all on the floor. Kobe's words resonated and put it all in perspective for LeBron. LeBron gets the call. He's going to the All-Star game. LeBron and Maverick were hyped. With no hesitation, they hit the road to Philly. Kobe gives LeBron his game-worn Kobe's. Size 14? LeBron wore 15. It didn't matter. Next game, he laced him up. 36 points, no win, but the lesson, priceless. By now, Sonny and LeBron had built a strong bond. Sonny went to Adidas with a bold idea. $100 million guaranteed over 10 years. Adidas agreed and gave him the green light to tell LeBron. LeBron sat down, heard Adidas drop a guaranteed $100 million. His face? Straight grinning. LeBron, his mom Gloria, and his boys, this was a power move. Adidas flew them out. Big statement. They landed in a private mansion in Malibu. In a private room in that Malibu mansion, Adidas execs lined up. Elite product on display, a pitch bold enough to change sneaker history. LeBron's locked in, waiting on that $100 million guarantee. But wait, hold up. He starts reading. Bonuses, incentives, no guaranteed $100 million? Y'all serious right now? He grabbed this stuff and dipped. Where Adidas went wrong. The initial agreement, Sonny and LeBron was on the same page. Adidas, nah. The presentation, Adidas changed up the contract. Damn. And LeBron's reaction, I'm not really feeling this. I mean, to get a clearer picture, let Sonny explain it better.
Adidas screwed up the way Adidas historically screws up, okay? Adidas made a horrible mistake. I offered LeBron, $100 million, $10 million a year while he was still in high school. Never signed anything. We didn't break any violations. I met him and his family, and I said, this is what it's going to be. And until that moment, until the day of the signing, or your first sign, I was given permission. He just told me that give him the $10 million a year. I go to this meeting in Malibu, and LeBron flies out, the team flies out, we're lining the dino. I was in his home. I was back in Ohio with him. I watched him grow up and all that sort of stuff. We opened up the contract. It was $100 million. They had incentives in there. Well, my first thing was, you're giving a guy $100 million, you're worried about incentive? They said no. Well, the rest is history,
On to the next. Let's keep this thing moving along. Next up, Reebok.
The best pitch that I got, where I thought I was going to end up, was actually Reebok at one point.
What you say? Let me get my popcorn. LeBron's love for football. Before sneaker deals and NBA fame, football had his heart. LeBron wasn't just hooping, he was dominating on the field. A wide receiver built like a tank. Too fast for linebackers, too strong for safeties. If it wasn't for basketball, he could have been catching TDs on Sundays. That's how real his love for football was. In the early 2000s, Reebok ran the NFL. Every jersey, every game, Reebok wasn't just tapping into hip-hop, they were signing it. G-Unit had the sneaker deal, but this wasn't just sponsorship. NFL jerseys became hip-hop uniforms. Everybody rocked them. Not just rappers, movies, fashion. Reebok made NFL jerseys a lifestyle, bigger than football. Reebok fused the NFL with culture, cementing their spot. Reebok saw football as their way in.
Basketball. At the time, I don't know if you guys remember this, but Reebok had the NFL as well.
Yes,
They knew my love for football as well, so they had all the NFL jerseys, all the Pro Bowl looking jerseys that was going to be the next year.
Now that was just in football. But when it came to basketball, Reebok had AI, Allen Iverson. Iverson wasn't just a player. He was the culture, the movement, the energy. Baggy jeans, chains, tats. Iverson broke the mold. Then came the Reebok Question 1. Not just a sneaker, a statement everywhere. Then it happened. MJ, the GOAT, crossed by the new wave in Reebok Question 1. A moment so iconic, even the kicks told a story. Old school versus new school. Iverson had to pull up to see if this LeBron hype was real. It didn't take long. Yeah, this guy's the real deal. Post-game, AI made it known. If you need anything, I'm one call away, homie. The bond was forming, and Reebok had to love it. Reebok did something rare. Apart from AI, no other athlete got their own PE in a high school. Giving LeBron a PE was one thing, but lacing him up in the Question 1 mid on the biggest high school stage? That was a statement. Reebok wanted the world to know they were all in. Then there was that little high school dunk competition. The proposal. LeBron, his mom Gloria, and Maverick Carter head into Reebok headquarters top-tier treatment, providing a private jet for the journey. Upon arrival, Reebok executives welcomed them warmly, setting a tone. A short drive led them to Reebok's main office. Reebok pulled out all the stops. NFL jerseys lined the walls. This wasn't just a pitch, it was a full-court press. Just to sweeten the deal, Reebok dropped a $10 million check. How much? Wait. Time out. This check had a condition, though, that LeBron wouldn't engage with other brands. LeBron paused, turned to his mom. If they offering you $10 million now, what would the others? With clarity, LeBron left that $10 million check behind. Where Reebok went wrong. Reebok made the biggest offer, $90 million guaranteed, $10 million bonus check. They showed their hand way too early. Imagine somebody offering you $10 million check. You're probably thinking, what's my worth? And a week-long basketball vision. They had AI, but beyond AI, you couldn't really see how they can deal with this phenomenon.
I went to their meeting and I sat down across from their CEO and the guys that was running basketball. I'm sitting across from the table. I'm a senior in high school. Actually, they flew me in. I'm going back to St. Mary the next day, my senior year, and the guy slides over a check to me at the end of the table. It's me and my mom and Maverick Carter at the end of the table, and he says, "If you don't go talk to any other companies, this is yours." I look at it. $10 million. I was a high school senior, man. They gave me a check for $10 million, and I promised not to go see anybody else. I told him I need a break. They stepped out. I need to find I I sat there, my mom looked at it, and me and my mom were living in an apartment in, Section 8 housing in Akron. And my mom looked at me, she said, son, trust your gut. If they're offering you this, then who knows what the other companies may offer you. Thank you. I would definitely like to continue our conversation, but I would be remiss if I did not take those other pitches from the other companies. I could have bought the building and me and my mom was living in with that goddamn money.
And for the grand finale, Nike.
Kid growing up, it was Nike.
Nike saw the vision early. While others pitched hard, Nike let the sneakers do the talking. Reebok offered a check. Adidas tried history. Nike, they built the relationship one step at a time. Before the contract, before the millions, Nike had already put LeBron in their best. No promises, just presence. Other brands wanted to sign him. Nike made sure he felt signed before he even turned pro. By the time the sneaker war got serious, LeBron already knew who had been with him the whole time. Some brands chased him. Nike walked with him, and that made all the difference. Nike's foundation before the 2000s. Before the late 2000s, Nike was already stacking legends. From David Robinson and Air Command Force to Barkley and Force Max, Nike was planting his flag. Penny, Kid, Pippen, each-drop, another statement. Nike wasn't just in the game, they were taking it over. The new wave of the early 2000s. Duncan in flight posits, KG in flight posits too, next level tech. Then came Vince, a walking highlight, defying gravity, powered by shocks. And then, gravity broke. The dunk, ridiculous. The shocks beat before, immortalized. Salute to the ladies. Shamika Holds Club, rocking one of my favorite, Nike Shocks Meet. Then Kobe made the switch from Adidas to Nike. The Nike's roster only got bigger when Kyrie and KD joined. Nike built an empire, but its foundation, Michael Jordan, the icon, the standard, on and off the court, the one and only MJ. Some of my favorite Jordans gotta start with the Jordan 1. MJ dominated in them. Then they took over the streets. Style icon. Decades later, its impact still echoes through culture. Next up, the Jordan 4, a sneaker built for flight. MJ made history in them on the court, and soon after, they became a cultural staple, rocked by icons and people alike. The Jordan 11 Breds, built for championships, embraced by the world. MJ dominated in them, and they never left the spotlight. MJ was legendary in every way. Now sit back and peep the greatness. Summer 01, Chicago Hoops Gym. LeBron, just 16, pulls up. NBA stars everywhere. Penny, Stackhouse, Pierce, Artest, all sweating it out. No games, just killers. But nobody cared about the high school kid. That is, until Tim Grover, MJ's legendary trainer, threw him into the fire. But Bron held his own. Smart passes, clean buckets, a glance at what was coming. The run was over, the gym empty. Then a red Ferrari pulls up.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
The GOAT himself, Michael Jordan. The gym cleared out, but two legends stayed behind. MJ and a teenage LeBron. Face to face in the weight room. LeBron reaches for his phone. MJ looked at him and said, "Call me anytime." As MJ stepped out, LeBron was frozen. His idol just handed him the keys. Yo, I just met Michael Jordan. On the long road back to Akron, music bumping, nothing needed to be said. LeBron had just stepped into destiny. The proposal. Nike pulled up different. Nike summoned their adventures. Tinker, Avar, Cooper. Full court press to get a sample ready for the king. Eyes locked, no distraction. This one had to be perfect. He sat down with Nike's best. Told him his favorite. Adidas Pro Model. Comfy ride, padded collar, clean look, built to last. They got cooking. With LeBron's blueprint in mind, Nike's pens hit the paper. Ideas started to flow. Sketches stacked on the table, built for comfort, styled with intent, and engineered to support rise of a king. Nike locked in. One sketch stood out. It had the feel, the function, and the flair. They knew they had a winner. It was a race against time. Nike had to hit that May deadline. Dozens of samples, round-the-clock tweaks, every stitch, every test, fueled by pressure and purpose. Nike was ready for the meet with LeBron. May 17th, 2003. LeBron, Gloria, and Mav, Nike flew the whole crew out in style. Jet catered, energy major, moves being made. Nike was scrubbing like the Pope was pulling up. Every detail, double checked, triple checked. If Bron wants it, it's on here. They weren't pitched, they were performing. Suited, rehearsed, Nike came stage ready for the king. Black SUV pulls in, campers silent. Nike cleared the decks, the king had arrived. LeBron walks in. Hey, yo, is that Fruity Pebbles? And it's LeBron land. Bags, towels, socks. Nike wasn't playing. He walks past legends. MJ, Barkley, Penny. Every great left a footprint. But at the end, an empty case. This one's for you, King. Your move. He wasn't just looking at a case. He was staring at a legacy waiting to be written. So, ready to step into greatness? LeBron replied, yeah, for sure. Nike went straight to the action. A boardroom and a message. A prototype built for Bron. He laces up, cracks a smile. Tees feel crazy. Gloria's verdict? I like these. Nice. Nike expected LeBron to step out for the financial. Instead, he stays. Flanked by his inner circle, Nike slides over the contract. The moment LeBron's been waiting for 7 years. 70 million, 5 million bonus. Wait, that's it? Where the money? Damn. LeBron and the crew went over to Nike Lynn Merritt's home. While Bron's on the sticks, the numbers still ain't sticking. Negotiations drag, energy low, tensions high. Flight to Akron, silent, not just tired, wrestling with it. Did Nike just drop the ball? May 21st, Reebok comes back heavy. Reebok spins the block, 115 million over 7 years. Serious money, serious pressure. Hold up, Nike gets wind. Hits back with 90 million and a 10-year signing bonus. Woo, late game push. Woo, the price of greatness. LeBron and Maverick hit a late night diner. Cold fries, hot thoughts, legacy over luxury, MJ's path, or the Reebok bag. The clock was ticking. Just past midnight, LeBron signs with Nike. Legacy locked. Next chapter begins. Why Nike won? Visionary partnership. Nike offered more than money, but don't get it twisted. The bag was good. The bag was great. They offered a legacy. And more importantly, Nike came with a prototype built for the king. Creative control. They let LeBron have a voice in shaping his narrative. Alignment with greatness. MJ did it with Nike. Now it was Bron's turn to walk the same path. May 22nd, LeBron steps out in full Nike drip. No confusion now, he made it official. LeBron chose the swoosh, not for the check, but for the checkmate. Yo, if you made it this far, salute. Thanks for rocking with me for 22 minutes plus. I'm new to this YouTube lane, so if you vibe with the story, hit the like, drop a comment, share it, and don't forget to subscribe. More fire coming soon. Let me know what story I should break down next. This is Dropwatch 360. Peace.